We are live. Cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
Let's
Oh,
go.
Thanks.
okay. All right, this is exciting. We're in a Zoom chat on a Friday night hanging out. Um, so I'm just going to give a quick purpose and kind of describe what we're kind of doing here. And then Norman is my co-host. He's going to go into some of the housekeeping logistics. So today we're just having a very informal conversation with Whitney and Katie, who is going to introduce themselves later, talking about their dating perspectives. And we have a kind of list of questions that we're going to ask them. So, Norman, you want to share some of the formatting?
Yeah, so basically we have a set of questions that we already got from the polls from Subtle Asian leftovers. We're gonna have some audience participation, and we might have some, quirky, fun questions later on, maybe spice things up a little bit. And basically, we're gonna have some fun and get to know the minds of these young ladies here that are in their 20s. So let's get at it.
Okay. Do you guys want to give a brief introduction of yourselves so the audience is a little bit more familiar with you guys?
Does she want to go first or should I?
Take it away, Whitney.
Go ahead, Whitney.
Okay, hey y'all, Whitney. I'm 23, turning 24 in
Quirky, fun.
July, Cancer. I'm from South Florida. The nice part of Florida, not like like Carol Baskin, Florida. So, and yeah, intro, right?
Audience is a little bit.
Awesome. And I'm Katie. I am 25. I just turned 25. I'm based in Northeast Ohio, and I'm excited to try this podcast, this live stream.
Cool, cool. Hey, so are you guys both Cantonese, right? You guys both speak Cantonese?
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect.
Nice. I
What
just found that out.
coincidence.
Yeah, so I think we're all Cantonese here, I think.
Yeah.
So maybe throughout the show, we might throw some Cantonese in there, maybe.
Yeah, feel free to throw some out. I might not
Yeah.
understand, but that's okay. So why don't we go ahead and get started with some general questions. So I'm mainly going to ask from a list of questions that came from a poll, and this poll was basically all the questions all the members wanted to ask, and it's going to be asked in the order of highest ranked. Okay, and then Norman's going to throw out the fun questions for you guys. So I'm going to ask the boring ones, and then Norman's going to ask the fun ones.
No, they're all fun. They're all fun.
They'll be fun. And then the
Yeah.
last thing that would be like an interesting one is the audience is more than welcome to ask questions too. So as the audience asks questions, Norman and I would kind of take a look at the chat and then ask you guys those questions.
That is right.
If there is a question you don't want to answer, just don't answer it. Just some of these questions can be personal, so just let us know if you don't want to answer something. You guys ready?
Yep, let's go.
Cool.
Let's go.
All right. So I'll ask the first question and I'll turn over to Norman. So the first question is, what are some of the things you've learned from past relationships that you now look for in a new partner? And if maybe Katie wants to start first.
Yes, I've definitely learned. I look for respect, transparency, and like a teammate, a team player. So like mission driven, goals kind of thing. Those are my top three that like I look for in a partner.
Whitney?
Oh yeah. Sorry, zoning out a bit. Okay, some of the things I learned from my past relationships, I think like the only thing that comes in mind is like two things. Like the first thing is no matter how ideal that guy is to you, like the right person at the wrong time when you guys are meeting is still the wrong person. So like one thing I kept in mind. Second thing is if like even if the guy likes you, and you don't really like them, like even if they ask you on a date or like if you want to like go out with them, I think the answer should be no. Like if you don't like them, don't go on a date with them, don't date them. And I also agree with what Katie said about the three things to look for in like a partner. Like you want someone who has like a goal in life, so you could like help each other out, like throughout life, encourage each other and stuff like that.
Cool, cool.
All right. Norman, you want to take it away?
Yeah, I mean, so with this whole COVID thing, it's a lot harder to actually meet people in person now. So now maybe you have a better chance, like maybe not take things too physically. So maybe do you guys, are you guys asking more, questions that are getting better to know the person and like just try to sidestep the physical stuff? Do you kind of use that to like as like a positive instead of a negative? So how is this COVID affecting your guys' personal relationships?
I'll go first. um, I don't mind it. I'm in Ohio, and a lot of like my closest friends are all like far, in, like the coastal cities or in like Chicago or something. So I'm kind of used to like virtual relationships,
Mm,
and a lot of my relationships are like emotional or like not physical based. So I'm like fine with it, and it like make gives that chance so I can like get to know someone first before like meeting them in person, anyways. So I don't mind it right now. I mean, it's COVID, so I'm not like super active in dating, but like, yeah, I'll like have a conversation with someone here and there if they spark my interest. Go.
So for me, how COVID has affected my relationship. So I'm currently dating. How does it affect it? Well, first of all, like being shut in with like I've seen a lot of memes about like girls like rushing to their boyfriend's house before the shutdown comes in. So they get to be shut in with their boyfriend. Like that was me. So I was shut in with my boyfriend. Not a big deal. But there were times like I think like for my relationship with my boyfriend, it's I don't know if we could do virtual. I'm gonna be honest with you. We talked about it before. It's better if the person is there. But I do like to get to know the person though. So like we do talk, even though we're together, even if we're virtual, I guess. Like I still ask him like, oh, how's your day? Like, what have you done? Like, ask him more emotional stuff because it's important to connect on an emotional level more than a physical level.
Are you guys living together right now during COVID?
Okay, technically,
Never mind. I mean, I'll go
technically,
on to the next question. So, this one is probably a little bit more boring, but uh, this one is about, do you plan to set a deadline for settling? Um, and this is more so towards when you're probably nearing your 30s, or the end of your 30s. Like when you're looking for a partner, do you have like a deadline for yourself on when you want to actually settle, or no? Or are you just gonna wait, or would you rather wait until you find a partner that meets your standards?
I'll go. Um, yeah, I'll. I don't like the word settling.
mm,
Not a settler. Hell no. Like, it's gotta be the partner.
mm.
So, if it takes me, okay, maybe because like I know I want children. So, if I don't have children before 39 years old, okay, then I guess that's my deadline per se. But yeah, I'm gonna try to find my partner before that. So,
Fair
um,
enough.
as as for me, I also don't believe in the word settling. Cause like if you settle, like, do you like that person? Like, or are you just trying to fit what society's telling you? Like, oh, you should get married by a certain age, you should get like have kids by a certain age. So, a little different than Katie. Like, if I don't get pregnant or if I don't get married by 39, like, it's fine because I do know a case of someone, my previous work, someone who hasn't met their partner until like 50s, and by that time, like you're not really looking for kids, and if you do, like adoption is like a really good option, and yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So both of you guys, talk about having partners in a relationship, and let's just say your partner does not want to go down on you, right? So
that's a
how
problem.
how do you ask your partner to like, you know, nudge their way, to get down there, So like, how would you, you know, you know, try to get them to understand that you need have needs too, So equal, participation,
Wow, my favorite question. I'll answer it first. Um, so I guess like the thing is for me, I am maybe from like my previous experience, I haven't really had like a great person who went down there, so I'm kind of a little scarred, I guess. So I'm more of the type that like gives or like I don't mind not receiving.
Mm, that,
So I can't answer your question technically. So
right. Very selfless of you. Very selfless of you.
I wish.
Yeah. I won't speak for myself, but
Well, in
I
general.
feel like in general, with your partner, it's has that certain level of trust, and like you guys should be on each other, same page with each other with
Right.
what your needs are. I think it'll be a-okay. You just gotta communicate. That trust is there, and yeah, like you guys have that attraction, so I think it'll just come naturally.
Right, but he doesn't like it. So how do you convince him to like try? You know?
Yeah, I don't meet someone that don't like it.
Right. So,
And not drop them.
Yes, go girl. Ooh.
true. So for all you guys out there, you gotta get down there.
Right.
Otherwise, you're out the street.
Dude, even if it's like a jungle, bro, you better be like scavenging some shit down there.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, we'll move to the next question. We actually have our first audience question here from, I have no idea, Brad Lanou. So it's the question for the females. Does your significant other's income matter to you? And does it matter if you're the breadwinner? Wait, Whitney?
Me? Okay. My significant other's income. I feel like as of now, like if it's just me and my significant other, it doesn't matter. But like if we're trying to have kids, yeah, it's gonna matter. Like who's gonna feed the kids? Like I feel like you can't like neglect the kids. So like if we do plan on having kids, at that moment that it will matter. But as of now, it wouldn't. And if I don't care who's the breadwinner. I feel like it's not important. Like society has like determined that the men has to be the breadwinner, but like I feel like it's not that important. And like right now, like a lot of women are actually breadwinners too, so it's not really that big of a deal for me.
So follow up on that question. You said it doesn't matter right now, but
Yes.
then you said, what if kids come in? So let's say you and your partner have kids and he doesn't, does he have to earn more? Is that what you're saying?
In a way, yes. Like if like I would hope that my significant other would earn enough to feed the kids. Like I don't want my kids to go through, or I don't want our kids to go through like how poor I was or how poor my parents were. Like I want them to like live a good life, but like not be spoiled too. So I want them to have like a good, like balanced life. Yeah.
So earn enough to take care of the kids.
Yes, just take care of the kids. You don't have to take care of me, bro. Just take care of the kids. That's it.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, for me, earning enough is not enough. Like, if like kids in the picture, they are another factor, and if you have that, it's like a mindset thing. Like, you're always gotta. I think that person, your partner, and you should have a plan to like be financially intelligent and always be growing and not like, yeah, it might be okay now, but it won't be okay later. Like you gotta plan and talk it out. You can't just not grow. So yeah, it matters with what the partner makes.
Before Norman jumps into his question, do either of you have a number that you would like to see your partner make? Any idea or no? Just wondering.
Oh.
What is a number to you?
Wait,
It depends on like the stage of life. Because right now I'm 25. I'm like early on in my career. I feel like a seasoned worker after college per se normally like is at least 5 years of work experience, and then we'll talk. It has to be like at least 6 figures.
Okay.
But under
Like combined.
His face.
Like combined
I,
income
I don't
or
think
just
she meant
No, like just
s-
him.
just him?
okay. That's fair.
But like
Okay.
because like I work really hard too, so it's gotta like match me, you know? Like in 5 years, I'll make sure I make at least six figures. Like that's just what my work ethic and like time is headed in that direction. So I know like what I need and want.
Simple yes or no question for Katie, and then we're asked for Whitney's thoughts on that. The simple yes or no question is, what if he is 5 years out and he doesn't make six figures? Is that a yes or no?
Oh, again, it depends on the stage of because people switch careers. So as long as they have like a growth mindset, it should be okay.
Good answer. Whitney, do you have a number?
Ooh. So actually, not really. Whatever the number is to take care of like kids, that's the number. I don't know. I feel like
That's fine.
yeah, I feel like I don't know about earning six figures in 5 years. So I'm like I don't want to put that like expectation on like the other dude. But if you, I mean, the more the better. TBH, like let's be real. But yeah, not really a number. Like if y'all Google what's like the minimum amount to like raise one kid or two kids, like that's the amount. That's your at least income right there.
Okay. Well, speaking of kids, right? So let's say your kids want to go into the arts and entertainment industry. How would you guys feel about that? Would you guys rather have them steer towards the math and science route? Like, how would you guys feel about them doing something more artsy and more unstable?
Who's answering first?
I'll go. I feel like parents know best for kids sometimes, at least at the beginning. So like let's say your kid is like naturally talented or like some kind of piano prodigy at age 4, like yeah, take a stab at it in the internet entertainment or arts industry.
Mm-hmm.
And because if not, they're eventually gonna like kind of resort to it, and I don't want that like resentment as like a future parent. So like whatever's natural, like everyone has their own gifts given.
Right. So, but let's say in the entertainment industry, it gets pretty cutthroat, right? And people
Hmm.
are always making trying to take advantage of you, right? So, what if they try to make it on their own in some sort of like website or like some kind of like try to use their body as a means of making money? How would you feel about that? Katie can go.
I would say to not raise my children to do that. I don't know. That's
Mm,
just me though. Um, I'll have to see because, like, obviously, I'm not a parent yet.
right, right.
but from like my values or something, like, there's other ways. There is other ways.
All right. Let's go, Whitney. What do you
Okay,
got?
so I agree with Katie. Like if my kid has talent or the passion to do it, if they have the talent, I would definitely allow them to do it. But and like if they have the passion and the hardworking like personality to do it, then I'll most likely encourage my kid to do it. But like I feel like sometimes you know like your intuition would tell you like oh if this person is dedicated to a certain thing. Like if my kids are not like bro like oh you being an accountant or something like ooh um and if they do resort or if they're in the entertainment industry and they do resort to like selling their bodies to like get in like honestly if honestly like hustle but like I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know about how you're getting there as because like I guess like my dad has told me also like how back in like I don't know how true this is. I don't fact check my dad for anything. He told me how like back in the day like if you want to go up the entertainment business you have to sell your body. And yeah, and like some people who are like really big right now, they have done stuff like that. They just need that one chance, like one breaking role to get in, and then like if then they make it big. Like I don't know how true that is, so don't quote me. But if my kid has to do it, and then they need that one breaking role, like do it, but don't let me know. I don't want to know about it. Like follow your dreams. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's definitely very different from how we grew up, right? I think our parents probably like told us like, hey, you need to do some math, you need to be a lawyer, you need to be like not a doctor. It's definitely very different, right? Like from like how the next generation, evolves their thinking, right? It's pretty cool.
All right, we're gonna go back to one of the questions from the poll. Um, so back to another boring question. The question is, what do you think is an ideal amount of time for dating before proposing? Have you guys thought about that? Go ahead. Whitney looks like she has an answer.
Oh, so before I started dating, I was single. I don't know if y'all know, I was single before I was in a relationship. I have read a lot about people's experiences, and I did come to a conclusion from like reading and from my experience. It's like usually the prime time to propose is 2 to 4 years. If after 2 to 4 years, if you don't propose, like it's kind of like a missed window. I feel like that's like the perfect timing. But like I have seen this couple, like my friend. They've been together for 11 years, but he wanted to propose like around like the fourth or fifth year, but like because of family reasons, it didn't work out. But they're still together. But I feel like it will depend on people. But for me, 2 to 4 years. But some other people, they don't need like a commitment, like a ring commitment, as long as you stay committed to them emotionally.
Okay, that's good. Katie?
Yeah, like Whitney, I think the 2 to 4 year mark is totally reasonable. And like Whitney, like growing up, I would like see like my teachers are role models, and they're always at like that age bracket, like 2 to 4 year relationship, and then they end up getting married. So I always like grew up around that, and I think that's appropriate. And also like reading articles or research psychology related things online. 2 to 4 years sound good to me.
But since you guys are in the 20s, do you think by having that range of 2 to 4 years gives you a nice little, cushion? But if you were in the 30s, would you consider like a shorter time period? Because I do know like some people who are like in their mid to the upper
Mm.
30s, within like maybe 6 months, they're willing to get married already. So do you think because you have more time, you guys
Yeah.
think that I can kind of wait? But if you were older, maybe you wouldn't have 2 to 4 years as your timeline.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Maybe a little quicker, but I think you gotta really like know each other or just have a foundation. So whenever you get that foundation locked down, it can speed up probably in the 30s.
Okay.
So I guess like I'm gonna disagree with Katie on this part. Like in my opinion, like I don't think it should be sped up. I've also read a lot about people like getting married or whatever, and like usually there's a moment where you will find like, wow, I like this person so much, I don't mind spending the rest of my life with them. That moment, like I've read, like I don't know how, maybe everyone's different, but I have read like a lot of those. Like there's this moment, like that moment can be, I guess, as short as 6 months. Like maybe for people who are older, they're more mature, they realize like, oh, I do want this to last. But like, I don't know. I haven't like been dating for a while. I haven't really found that moment yet.
Mm.
And I feel like, what's with that? Damn. So
How does your current boyfriend feel about that?
Yeah, I was
Like,
about to say,
Ah!
is he watching?
you know, like
I mean, the thing is like the gap, the age, or like the year, 2 to 4 years. That's like enough time for you to find that moment. Like I haven't been dating my boyfriend for like it's less than a year. So like, cause like I am more career oriented. I can't just put my relationship first like that, and he understands. He's actually
Mm.
very understanding about that. And like, but wait, we're shooting off topic. But that
No,
question, I feel like the 6 months thing, like when you're older, more mature, you do realize that you do realize what you want more at that time. So like their moment, like that they want to marry that person, is I do think would be shorter than like people in their 20s right now.
yeah.
Fair. Norman? You got your questions?
Yeah, so let's go with like like a little small dating question, right? So let's say a little scenario. So let's say you're on your first date, right? And it's going pretty well, dinner's going pretty well, and the guy asks for like a little nightcap and he wants to go dancing. You know, what do you say about that? Like, you know,
Excuse me, you said nightcap?
I
yeah.
don't think that's how that term is used.
Well, it's something to do after, usually you end after dinner, right? But sometimes you have a nightcap and you go, let's do something else. So he's gonna say, hey, let's
Yeah, that's
go,
normal.
let's go to a club and go dancing. Like, what would you say? How would you feel about that kind of question being asked to you? I
If
guess
it's going well and
it's going
we're
well.
having fun,
Mhm.
hell yeah, keeps continuing. But if I'm not feeling it or like something's off or someone's unwell, it's probably gonna let that not
But
happen. But
it is going well though. It's going well, and you're like
oh
really
yeah.
feeling it.
Mhm.
And maybe things get a little bit a little frisky at the nightclub maybe. But it's first date. What do you do? Like, he's gonna try to like lean in a little bit. So how are you gonna approach that?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty spontaneous, so it's scenario based.
Yeah, scenario based.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, scenario based.
It seems like Katie would say yes if it's going well.
Okay.
I do agree with Katie. If it's going well, like, let's go through the whole thing, I guess. Wait, not the whole thing, I guess. Like, let's go through to like dancing and stuff. When you said nightcap, I thought of something else. Like, I Urban Dictionary it to you just now. Like, some people call nightcap sex, so I wasn't sure if you meant sex because I do think like according to Ali Wong, like your body's a temple. You can't like have sex with them on like the first few dates.
Okay.
So that's my opinion. But yeah.
Okay.
Yep, boundaries.
Cool.
Yes.
Boundaries are very important.
I lost my train of thought for a second, but I didn't want to comment that it seems as though Whitney did a lot of research before coming into this interview. You're just quoting people left and right. That's good. That's really good.
That's really good.
So I'll ask a question from the audience, which actually is a question from the poll, but I'll ask the audience question since it's the same question. So this is a question from Michael, and he asks, if the income number for your partner depends on their life stage, then how old or how young are you willing to date? And for the audience purposes, can you guys restate your age in responding to this? Do you want to start with Whitney?
Okay, so I am 23, turning 24 soon, like no, 2 months, 1 month. How young? Okay, so I guess that question has to be broken down into like I guess like two questions, like how young will I date and how old will I date? That'll be your first question. I do realize that it's better to date older for me because like I am immature. I like to joke around and stuff, but like when I have met guys, I have chased after a guy who's younger than me by 2 years. And thing is, we're not really on the same page. Like I need to like lower my vocabulary a little bit, like a lot more than usual. And that didn't really like it didn't feel like myself. Like I wasn't being myself and I felt weird. So that didn't work out obviously. And how old was I don't think age is like the physical age is a number. I feel like what's more important is how old they are mentally. Like they could be 50, but they be acting around like 25, like, ooh, but and you cute. Ooh, I guess, it might happen. And I guess for like the second question, like the second part of the question, like the what was it, the late stage, like how late the stage for income? Was that
No, the main question is just how old or how young are you willing to date? And
oh,
the reason why is because usually as you get older, you make more income. So it's like let's say you had to hit that six-figure mark, like what Katie was shooting for, and it takes the guy until he's 50 to reach that. So would you be willing to date someone that's 50? But the general question is how young and how old? It sounds like 2 years might be a little too young for you, but how old are you willing to go, Whitney?
How old?
Is it 50?
I honestly don't know. I feel like I guess it will have to be like not their physical age and have to be their mental age. That's what like I'm more focusing about. Like if they're a little older, I guess I think it'll be fine. We can still vibe and still like talk. But I've never dated so much older like that.
What's the
Like
oldest?
oldest I've dated, my current boyfriend, he's 4 years older than me.
Okay, cool.
But that's the oldest one.
Katie.
There's like a rule that someone told me. It's like the man's age cut in half plus 7.
Yeah.
So I am 25. So I don't know. I know 33 divided by 2 plus 7 is like 23 and a half. But my cap for me is 32.
Why
Just
32?
because. Oh, I'm superstitious a little bit. Chinese zodiac animals. Since I'm 25, I'm the year of the boar. And I know the 32-year-old, I forget what zodiac animal it is. It might be the rabbit.
It's the rabbit.
Okay, great. Gets along well with the pigs. That is my personal cap.
Okay. What about youngest? What's the
Youngest,
youngest?
probably like 2 years younger than my current, and mainly because a lot of boys and men aren't developed until like later.
Okay,
Mentally.
I agree.
cool.
Seems like a pretty common.
It's pretty common. That's a very
yeah.
common answer.
Yeah, it's pretty common.
Norman, what
Yep.
question you got?
So Whitney, so let's say you find a guy pretty cute, but he's kind of shy, right? So would you be willing to like go on the offensive and be a little more aggressive towards trying to get that guy? Like how would you approach in trying to get that person to like you? I guess what would be your steps or plan of attack?
Damn. Well, okay. Funny thing is, my whole life I didn't really start dating till, or I wasn't interested in boys until like I was 18. But like I didn't really date until recently. I'm 23 right now, but like I've always been on the offensive. So I don't know what you're talking about. I've always been the one chasing after a guy. I feel like that's what ties back into like the beginning of the question when you're asking like what did you learn? Like no matter how ideal the guy is, no matter how much I chase them, like if it's wrong time when they're not ready for relationship,
Mhm.
like it's still the wrong guy. But like what tactic will I use? Yeah. I've used a lot. You could like literally ask the past few guys I chased, like just constantly like messaging them, but like with like a good amount of time period in between, so you're doesn't make it seem like you're desperate. Um, yeah, I feel like nowadays it's important to like keep in check through texting. It's not
Mm.
like those back in the days where you like drive up to like their door and like take them on a date. Like I can't do that. Like just texting like all the time, like bro, like make sure I'm on your mind like 24/7. Like sound like a crazy girlfriend or some shit. But those tactics don't actually work. But what I realized like kind of works. Like my experience told me that those don't work. But like ideally, if I could go back, the thing is I have to play it cool. If girls want to go after guys, they have to play it cool and kind of like do not tell them you're interested first.
Mm.
But like treat them like a friend. Make them treat you like a friend, and then but like give some like suggestive like sayings or some talks or like some like touching, and just like let them know like hey, like I'm like interested in you more than a friend. But you have to let guys know that you want to play it cool, because guys can be like that. You gotta play it cool first, make them think you're cool, then you can like start chasing them, make them like obsess over you. But don't ever tell them you like them first. I'm just saying.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't had a lot of experiences where I'm like chasing a guy, because all like the guys per se that I was chasing like ended up not working out. LOL. But yeah, I think that's important. Like, don't make it seem like you like them. Like, I like the friend approach, especially if the girl is like making the moves. Yeah.
But let's say, you know, um, you're like usually guys are trying to be cool too, like so they're trying to like, not message you as well too. So how do you combat that, you know, that distance where they're trying to play cool and you're trying to play cool? You know, how do you make it known that hey, you know, it's time to step it up? You know, how do someone like a guy can just be like, usually they're pretty stupid, so they usually don't know that you are interested in them. So how do you make sure that they're not just thinking that you're a friend, right?
And now let me add on to Norman's question there real quick, because as a guy in general, guys usually don't approach or may be afraid of rejection, and usually unless they are certain that a girl likes them, they might not make a move. So I
Right.
think it's important to do show him a little interest. I think guys usually get frustrated about mind reading. Sometimes they would just prefer if a girl just straight up said, "Hey, yo, I like you."
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? It's a rebuttal. So if you don't show the guy any signs from the guy's side, he doesn't want to feel rejected, so he's not going to make a move unless he's certain. So then both people don't end up together, even though they like each other. Does it make sense?
I feel like one of the party will just like know though. Like it's always it will come down to that because if they both never happened, then it wasn't like anything.
That happens a lot.
It happens, definitely
It
happens a lot with
happens a
guys.
lot,
It happens a
especially with
lot.
guys. Guys have no
Yes.
idea.
Yes.
Okay.
I can
Or
definitely.
or if the guy has no idea and I know they like me, but I don't feel the same way, and then it also doesn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but you both, I think you both kind of think you guys like each other, but there's no kind of movement. So do you wait or you just tap?
I don't think you can wait for stuff like that. Like you just know if you like them or not. You can't be like, I don't really know if I like them or not. Because if you have to question it, then you probably don't think it's that important or that you don't really like them.
Right, because like from what I've noticed, that girls in their mid, in the 30s, they're usually a little more willing to like say it and be more upfront. I feel, and they like what and they'll start asking these questions about hey, I'm be upfront. I like you, blah blah blah, and they usually try to like be way more trying to go get it usually sometimes. So that's why I'm asking the question, see how you would respond and thinking versus the 20s and the 30s.
Okay,
All right.
so for me, like I feel like I am not like most girls. Like if I like, cause I did mention that like I'm usually the one that's like on offensive, like going after the guys. Like literally my whole life. Oh. I usually tell them like, hey, like I message them like, hey, like I'm interested in you. Like wrong move. Don't ever do that. Like don't scare them off and be like, hey, like I'm interested in you. Like let's talk more. Like I basically kind of said that. It was kind of no, don't do that. Um, but like I feel like if both parties like each other, like as Katie said, I feel like timing is correct. Like you know if you like that person or not. And I feel like if both person like each other, like what I did, I'll give you an example. What I did, I liked my current boyfriend first before he liked me, and then I had a feeling he liked me, but I don't want to tell him I liked him first. So what I did was I asked him question to make him tell me that he liked me. Bro, like I'm starting to sound manipulative as hell, bro. But I asked him a question. I was like, oh, uh, like I guess like how I thought he liked me was because he was showing interest. He was like, putting his hand on my thigh, and I was like, oh, I feel weird. Like,
It's
and then like,
aggressive.
yes, very aggressive. For a while, and I asked him, I was like, or after he's done that for a while, I was like, I think he kind of likes me, but like, I don't want this to go wrong because like he's a great friend. We were friends before anything, and like I don't want to lose a friend. So I asked him like, hey, like you've been acting weird by doing this, like what's wrong, like kind of thing. And then he was like, oh, like I like you. So I was like, oh shit, oh shit. So you play it coy like me? I don't know. Be manipulative.
So we're gonna turn on to another question, but it's actually a follow-up to this. That is actually to an audience question following up on your comments, Whitney. So
About
so
oh
the audience says, so this is Michael, and he says that you said that the girl should play it cool and be benefit or be friends first with the guy.
yes.
So have you ever had a friend zone experience where someone was interested in you, but you weren't interested in them, and then you had to friend zone them? And how did that work out?
Oh, bro. So there is this guy. We were friends, and I think we were friends first, and then he developed feelings, but I didn't. So yeah, he wasn't gonna. I wasn't interested at all. I feel like when a girl's interested, they will have like a certain mindset to be friends with you. Like that's like a certain type, like one certain way they could go about it. But like there are some girls like what I did. It was like if they're your friends, they're your friends. Like I didn't know I was interested in my current boyfriend until like he showed some like interest too. Cause I was like, bro, it's my bro, man. We're friends. Like, hey, let's go hang out. Let's go club. Like stuff like that. Um, I just rambled. What was
How
the
did you
question?
let him down?
How did I let him down? Oh, bro. Oh, let me tell you. So, yeah, parent, because that was back in college. He would like the thing is, he's done that to a lot of girls, because he was like, like spreading the net, trying to like find more fishes that way. And he's done it to several girls, and I've heard it from other girls. But he would be like texting me at like 3 in the morning, be like, "Hey, you want to like talk? Like, hey, you want to come make cookies?" And I was like, "No." I would answer like one word questions, like, and he told me later on when we were like hanging out, he's like, "Bro, like, whenever I text you, it sounds like I'm talking to a wall." Yeah, I'm not interested. That's why. So I think there's like
Direct.
certain way.
That's
Yeah.
nice. That's good. More girls should be like that, direct. Don't string us along. Just say no.
Yeah, that's appreciated. Just be direct. That's good.
Yeah,
Katie, do you
that's
want to
good.
answer that, or do you want to go on to another question?
Yeah, I just kind of tell them straight up. Like sometimes, like yeah, we'll have fun and great rapport, and they like me, but I'm not feeling it. I'll be like ending in with like a skirt, like sorry, like I feel like we could be great friends, like legit friend zone them, and just tell them like provide value. Like if there's anything I can help you with, like hit me up. But like we're just friends.
Oh, I
Right.
also want to add one thing. Usually, if you like someone and you think you have interest in, you think you have interest, and you think they have interest in you, like just ask. At the end of the day, if you never ask, you never know. Like
Right.
just ask. What's a big like the worst case scenario? She says no, and y'all ain't friends. Like I don't know. But the thing is, like you want to ask. At the end of the day, you want to ask. Make sure it's the right moment to ask too.
Good. Good. So, letting all the guys know, don't be wusses, right?
There you go.
Yeah, and it's more like attractive if a guy like lets the girl know, because it's like a not really a dominance thing, but it's just like okay, it's a confidence thing. Like okay, like I want you. Like okay.
Okay, Norman, what you got?
All right. So, staying on that kind of level, what was the worst reaction that you ever got from letting someone down? Like any kind of crazy reactions that you guys got?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, let's say you say no to a guy, like they blow up or they like just like go crazy on you, or any kind of those kind of stories that you guys have, or it was just all pretty tame. Katie? Katie, maybe?
Stranger DMs, like yeah, they would kind of get aggressive sometimes when I turn them down, but it's just like what I'm gonna do if I ignore them. But if it's like a friend, and then if they ended up not being friends, then that just shows me like their intentions were not to be friends the beginning. So, boy, bye. It's okay. I don't need you in my life.
Mm, okay. So like,
Mhm.
how do you know like they like you and not just want to get in your pants? How can you
Um,
tell?
You don't know. You
You
don't
don't
know.
know.
yeah, sometimes I just straight up ask them, like, do you have a crush on me or something? Because, like, I'm kind of oblivious with that stuff sometimes if it's,
Hmm.
like, in the friend area.
Hmm.
And, yeah, just that affirmation, like, like, what do you want? Or, um, like, because, like, I don't know, just, like, respecting each other's time and, like, where is it going? Like, yeah, because you guys are friends and see where it
Okay.
is.
Yeah, it seems like you guys are pretty direct in telling guys, hey, no, right? Because I think like mostly girls are like usually pretty like kind of fall into the trap of the guy, liking them, but only liking them for the sex. So like, how would you combat? How would you tell other girls to say, this guy only wants sex. He doesn't really like you, but how can you tell? Like, let's say your friend is, is talking to a guy and you kind of can tell that he only wants sex. How would you combat that?
Don't give it to them. I don't know. Okay, I feel like how do you realize it? I feel like the way a guy can talk, you kind of can tell. Like if he flirts a lot, like a lot, doesn't really ask you about like how you've been, like how's your day, like, and like if he actually asks you about them, and like, but he still has more suggestive moves, like in like more touchy and like a little more forceful. I feel like the best way is like the girl just like, bro, wait it out. Like if you actually like the guy and you actually want it to be something, like you have to be careful because like there are certain guys who are not ready to be in a relationship and they just want to sleep around and you might be their next target even if you like them. So yeah, like move on, wait until he's ready to settle down. They're like, hey, hit him up, like, hey, what's up?
Okay.
That's like my advice. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like you won't even know until like you met some of the bad boys.
Mm,
And if your girlfriend, your gal pal is telling you, "Oh, he just wants to get in your pants," I mean, it's all like the signs of how he talks to you or the examples that you share. Just like, "Oh, this tendency, narcissism," or "Oh, this tendency, sociopathic." And it's all like from experience from like the gals and stuff. So
mm. Yeah,
trust
because
your gals, I feel like, because like if they know you, they know like how your tendencies are and they're just looking out for you or, you know.
right. So like onto that, right? Like usually as a guy, like we're taught to be like, aggressive and flirty and all sorts of things, right? So as a guy, like how are we gonna, get past that kind of, mindset where we have to be, slower and like try to get to know the person a little more? Because things that we're told that if you don't, be aggressive, the girl's not gonna like you. And you should be friend zoned right off the bat. You don't be flirty and all aggressive. So if we're just gonna be all friendly, how are we gonna convert that friendliness into a relationship?
I guess I'll speak first. I feel like first of all, you gotta definitely hang out. Like from my experience, if you hang out with a person a lot, and then they've seen like other qualities that they may like of you, like and you have to also like show some suggestive move. Like for example, like my relationship right now, like I've been friends with my current boyfriend for like a while, and then like I had feelings, but then he made a move, and I was like, oh, because like we've been hanging out. Because I just came back from studying or from working up in where my college is, and then I came back down south, and he would text me all the time, like, "Oh, let's hang out." Like, but he didn't have that like mindset yet. He was just like, "Oh, he actually wants to hang out." But like, the more we talk, the more we realize what we like about other people and what we like about each other, and what's like making them as a person. Like, they should not be at a friend level. Like, that person should be at like a different level. I think both me and my boyfriend realized like we're not just friends, because like we know each other so much at like a level. It's just like kind of want to do other things that friends don't do to each other. So you know, like kissing, okay, PG right here, kissing, holding hands.
So Katie,
Yeah.
so like, do you find it like hard to like like develop that kind of relationship with a guy where takes a little bit more time to develop that friendship and then cross over to the you know more relationship part? Like, do you find it harder because nowadays everyone's trying to do everything faster because they got the apps and you kind of have like multiple things at the same time. And so
Right.
how are you
I
gonna
think that's kind of cool if it's like friend based and then become lovers. Like a couple of my exes, we started off as friends first for like at least 1 year plus,
okay.
and they turn into like long relationships as like lover partners per se. Obviously, we're not together anymore, but yeah, those were great like relationships, like friendship
Mm,
going to um, partners. Like I think that's so beautiful. Like because you guys were friends, and then um, and then lovers, and then when you guys break up, since you guys have that friendship foundation in the beginning, like it's a little bit easier to become friends again, even though we went our separate ways.
okay.
So we're gonna pull a question from the audience here. The audience actually has a lot of questions that's kind of piled up, but I'm gonna take one that's kind of fun. So we have a question from Brad. Brad says, "What's the worst date that you've been on?" So Whitney, you want to start?
Oh wow, my worst date. So I'm like not trying to say I'm like the expert of dating apps, but I kind of am. Um, I've used Tinder to meet up with a guy. He was a PhD student while I was still in undergrad, and what made it the worst date was like throughout our we went to Chipotle because it was like a BOGO deal. And then he used his BOGO with his friend. I was like, okay, yeah, like let me be cute. Let me just use my BOGO deal for us. And I got us something, and literally throughout the whole date, he was just eating his burrito. And I'm just like asking him a question, like I was interviewing him, like he didn't like when I asked him a question, like maybe like, oh, how was your date? How was something like that? He'd be like, oh, good. That was it. I was like, are you gonna like continue the conversation, or like am I interviewing you for the whole thing? So what happened was, yeah, I was interviewing him, and I gave him a free meal. Um, I wouldn't mind because it was just like a BOGO Chipotle thing, but like,
It was your
I would,
time.
oh yeah, like I would prefer like to be more interactive instead of just me interviewing him. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, Katie.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, my worst day ever. And and I feel like as girls, like we always know if it's gonna be good or bad. But I was like on a time crunch, and I like genuinely wanted to get to know this guy. So he asks me out on a date, and the date goes all right. It was okay, and found out he's kind of quirky. Wasn't really feeling it. And then we went to like date location number two, and then he asked me to like get the bill because he got the first date section when he was the one that asked me out on a date. And I'm like,
How did he ask you to get the bill?
he
He's
was
like,
like,
"Can
hey, since I got dinner, you got this one? I was like, oh, yeah, no problem. But like, it was so unexpected, and I'm just like, this is you wanted to date me, and oh, okay, I get it, equality, but like, I was not expecting that, and yeah, we just weren't on the same page, and obviously I friend zoned him shortly after.
And there's no date number 3 anymore.
Oh no, and actually he got so mad, and then he basically like got back to me and asked like, "Oh, why didn't it work out?" And then I like told him, I was like, "Well, this happened," and he was like so confused, and he was trying to defend
Mm.
himself and saying like all his friends were, like he's never met another girl like that got so upset and didn't give him another date because of that. I was like, "Okay, boy, bye."
So because it's so related of a question, I'm gonna just follow up with both of those with a question that we always ask on these live streams. That question is, who pays on the first date? Whitney, let's start.
I feel like okay, so like personally, I think on the first date, I don't mind splitting because usually on a first date, if you're with a stranger on a first date, like they might feel like forgot like society how society paints guys. The guys might feel entitled to the woman after he pays for the meal or after he pays for entertainment. And like I don't want to give the guy the upper hand, so I don't like if I'm going to date with a stranger, I do not let him pay. I pay for myself. But like if it's a friend, like and like like pay back and forth, and like if they're actually interested, they will offer to pay a lot more often. That's what I realized. But yeah,
But your final answer is you don't mind first
I
date.
don't mind. I don't mind splitting. I would prefer to split on a first date with like strangers or like with friends. Or
Do you offer the first date?
do I offer to pay the whole thing?
Yeah. So if the dinner's over, what happens? Do you wait or do you say, do you want to split?
Nah, we splitting. It's either two options. He pays or we split. I ain't paying for the whole bill.
Okay.
Hmm.
Katie?
For me, I don't care if I take care of the whole bill, but that's usually like done prior to the date. Like I'll be like, hey, like I got this. Not like after eating or something and then be like that. But I think whoever asks who out on a date should be paying. So it could be me, it could be the guy, but whoever asks is for the date, they should pay for it.
Okay. Norman.
So I'm gonna do a question from the audience, and Michael is asking you guys: have you ever experienced like cross-cultural dating, or like what's your experience in dating people from another culture? Any horror stories with that kind of stuff, or?
I feel like I've dated a lot of different cultures and yeah, learned what I liked and not like. And after that experience, I resorted to like, oh, I prefer Asian men the best.
Right. So it's like,
Yeah.
so since you guys are both Cantonese, do you think like having a Cantonese culture is important to you guys?
Yeah. Growing up, there was like no Asians. So it's just like a natural like attraction. So like, oh, if I meet another like Asian or oh, a Cantonese person, even better. But like, yeah, I know it's rare. So like,
Right.
if they're Asian, that's like my preference. So cool. But if they're
Mm,
Cantonese, that'll be like so cool to like preserve that together for like a couple years long term. And it's like if we get like married, then it's like okay, I don't have to forget that culture part because it's just going to continue because we get to exercise it. At least it creates that opportunity to exercise that cultural piece or
True.
language.
True.
I feel like for me, sorry, were you guys gonna say something?
I know yes or
Right.
no question, but you can go on right after this. Have either of you dated someone that's Cantonese? That
Yeah,
takes a.
my current
Um,
boyfriend.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, not like boyfriend, but I went on date with that.
Okay.
Like
And
go out.
Whitney, you can continue on with the question.
So I guess also growing up, it's nice to have someone in the Asian culture. I do prefer Asian men. Um, but I don't mind dating other Asian races. Like I do prefer Asian men, but like coincidentally, my boyfriend, he's Asian, he's Cantonese. Wow, I could talk to his mom. You know, talk shit about him to his mom. But it wasn't recently until I realized like, is this coming out? Like I realized like I like one of my coworkers. Like she's a girl, and she wasn't Asian at all. But the thing was like, what made me like her more than just a friend was because um we hung out a lot. Like the stuff we talked about and how we hung out like a lot made me realize like, hey, like I don't mind like not like being more than just friends with this girl. But like because we hung out a lot for a while, and then like I realized my feelings, so I backed away a little bit, and then she was like, "Hey, like why are you like being weird? Why are you like not hang out with me anymore?" And then kind of told her, but we're still friends. I kind of like realized my feelings and how she like she's hella straight, hella heterosexual. And that made me realize like I'm actually not straight. I'm more demisexual. I guess what they say is like you're attracted to a person because of their personality. So I feel like I haven't really been attracted to other people in different cultures, but but like for sure though I am attracted to Asian men.
So that was a pretty cool like response. Like, so what's the furthest like you have gone with a female in terms of kissing and anything else further, or just
Nah, bro. Like, dude. Oh my god. In college, I was known for kissing girls, but that was like like a drunk thing, a joke thing, kind of thing. But like, it wasn't until like after college and I was working for a bit. I was like with my coworker, like we just hung out a lot. But like, I didn't kiss her. But it was just like a realization that like when we were hanging out, there was this one time I was like, oh, like there was this like chemistry right there that I felt. I don't think she felt it, and it just felt weird. And I'm pretty sure like that at that moment I realized like I don't mind being more than just friends with her.
So Katie, have you had any experience with women at all, or?
Just like my gal pals, it was like not like I'm straight, but like yeah, I've kissed women before. Good times. It's yeah, good times.
Okay, we move on. Norman, you want to take another question?
So like, have you ever had any like like yellow fever attacks on you guys, or like any kind of like people saying, oh man, you're hot because you're Asian, like any kind of those type of scenarios that you guys had? Or so this is a question from Michael as well too, like any guys with yellow fever that has approached you?
I don't know if it's confirmed, but sometimes if they're not Asian and they like anime and then they start talking to me, that might be like a flag. But I kind of like watch out for that. So what was your question again?
Just have you experienced guys who are solely likes you for being Asian?
Oh yeah, for sure. When they like start talking about like anime or like stereotypes that they know of, whatever, and like yeah, and then they'll like kind of like compare me to it, and I'm just like in front of them. So yeah, it was like full on yellow fever attack.
I don't think I had someone come on like that, or if they did, I'm like super oblivious. Or like I guess there was this one guy, he was like I think he just hung around a lot of Asians, but he wasn't Asian himself. And I think like maybe that's where it stems because he just sees a lot more Asians. Like not confirmed if he has yellow fever though, but the situation seemed like it.
Right, but I think the difference is that maybe when you do like Asians, you usually want to at least know the culture a little bit. So like, liking anime is okay. Kind of get to know the culture. That kind of like probably gets them a little more ease and like not being yellow fever. So I think if you kind of hang out with Asians a lot and you enjoy a lot of Asian culture, then maybe it's probably not yellow fever.
We can probably begin to wrap up in maybe like the next 5 to 10 minutes. So if we have any other questions that we really want to ask, we're going to try to fit it in here. Since Katie mentioned the word flag, one of the next questions is, you're on dating apps. What are some of the red flags that come up in red and flag when you're swiping and you would swipe left on a guy's profile? What are some of those red flags?
Like superficial answers or like bios, like
Examples?
like
Examples.
oh shoot, I don't know if they're like so short with I'm on Hinge and they have like these question prompts, and if they answer the prompts in a way that's not stimulating or not interesting, or sorry, that's not even a flag. A flag is like if their pictures had drugs or like it's just not presentable. Like I wouldn't want my family to like accept that or like just like shoot. Sorry, I'm wording this really bad. Like I wouldn't want to be I wouldn't want to have that in a relationship. Then that's a red flag. Or like they're high or passed out in their photos. I'm just like, why did you even choose that photo for a dating?
What photo?
Like if they're like high or doing
Oh, hide the
drugs and
photo.
passed
Okay.
out, like why do you want to advertise yourself that? And you know, like
So-
I guess they're looking for a 420 friend, but like I wouldn't want to date someone like that. So that's a flag.
Okay, those are fair flags. Maybe we'll ask a yes or no question and move on to Whitney for her red flags. The yes no question is, what if the guy has an 8-pack and has a selfie of himself shirtless? Is that a red flag at all, or you're cool with that?
Wait, is it me?
For Katie, for
Okay.
Katie.
Oh, for me, I thought you said Whitney. That's hard work, but it depends on like the other corresponding things with that photo.
So that's not a red flag. So if a guy had a shirtless photo in his dating app, that's not a red flag for you. That's actually could be a good thing plus the
Yeah,
other
it could be
qualities.
a good thing.
There you go. Okay, cool.
Interesting.
Whitney, what red flags do you typically think of on dating apps?
I feel like okay, so for dating apps, I feel like it's gonna be weird. Depends on what mood I'm in. If I'm only there to flirt, like I'm down for flirting. But if suddenly like they're like, oh, like when can I come over, or like, oh, when are you coming over, and they're trying to like have like sexual favors, I'm like, I just don't answer that shit. But usually, or most of the time, I don't answer it. Or all of the time, I don't answer when they ask for sexual favors. But like, if I'm ready to flirt, and if they catch me at the right moment, I'll flirt back with them, like leading it up to it. But like, there's that. The second thing about like the 8-pack, bro. If they're taking a selfie with an 8-pack, I'm trying to look at their mirror. If their mirror dirty, like, oh, that's a big red flag. Like, I ain't going over. Like, he's not coming over. Like, I don't want to meet this guy at all.
Okay, so Norman, you can probably ask like the next question, but I have a question. We haven't spoke Cantonese at all, so I'm gonna try something here, and that is a pickup line. Tell me what you would rate this pickup line on a scale of 1 being the worst pickup line you ever heard to 10 being the best pickup line you ever heard. And I'm gonna say the pickup line in Cantonese. Okay? So, the pickup line is 如果你係鼻屎，我會撩你。
哇，好肉酸喎，好肉酸啊！哇，真係。
Can you, one of you translate it? Not Norman. Can one of you translate it to the English for our audience who doesn't
I
speak
got
Cantonese?
it. I got it.
Okay.
If you're a booger, I pick you.
Ratings. Whitney, what would you say? 1 to 10.
I feel like probably a 3. You could do better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, Phil, pickup line. Norman, what's the question do you have?
Okay. Well, like another flag, right? Is height a flag for you guys? Like, what's the shortest and tallest that you would be willing to date?
Well, I'm a tall girl. I'm 5'6.5", 5'7". I'm gonna need a guy taller than 5'8", 5'9". Because I just like feeling protection. Like actually they can be 5'7", but like the biology to it is just I just need to be protected. So it's better if they're like taller than me or bigger.
I feel like for me, so usually, funny thing is, on dating apps, if they tell me so I'm 5'4". I'm on a good day, I'm 5'4.5". You know, on a bad day, I'm just 5'4". On dating apps, if they tell me they're 5'4", I stop talking to them. Like, bro, like I would prefer if a guy's taller than me. But funny thing, my current boyfriend is shorter than me by like 1 to 2 inches.
Hey,
But the
that's
thing is
some
like,
hope for us.
yes, I guess like the thing is because we're friends first. But the thing is like, I like him not for his height. I don't really need someone to like, protect. It's nice if the guys tell protect, make me feel protective and stuff, but like I feel like what my boyfriend offers, it's like his height, like I could not see it. I don't have to worry about that.
We can save this recording for when you guys play it at your wedding.
Yes, definitely.
So I don't know if any of you guys are watching the actual live chat stream. Someone wrote in Cantonese. I have no idea what that says.
Wait,
I-
I send it to me, or
Let me
bro,
see
I
it.
don't know how to work this.
I can't see it.
Oh,
I
here.
can read.
I'll post it.
Yeah.
So I'll post it in the chat. What does that
Oh.
mean?
你有冇高？
唔係，你有冇搞錯？
有冇搞錯?
Is that a curse word?
No,
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
not a curse
Kinda.
word.
what's
Kinda
gaucho
is.
It's like-
mean?
Like, are you kidding me?
means
Like, are you kidding
are
me?
you serious?
Yeah, are you kidding me?
To what though? Like we've talked a lot. Like
Maybe about the height thing.
No, I think he was probably talking about the whole like Basie thing,
Oh.
right? So
I mean,
Like-
if you got a base, you got a Liu, right? Isn't that what you gotta do?
you 西門啲嘛，西門啲
Okay.
Yeah, definitely not the very first pickup line.
yeah, don't do that.
Okay, good to know. That's good advice for all the guys out there thinking about
Yes,
using
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so I think we can probably start wrapping up. Norman, do you have any more questions? I think that's all the questions that
no.
I have.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good. I mean, besides that, I mean, do you guys have like a favorite TV show you guys have maybe?
Maybe like back then, like the Hong Kong Cantonese dramas, or like in general.
Hong Kong dramas. Let's say
Hong
that.
Kong drama. I really liked anything with Kevin Chang.
Mm.
So like The Seventh
Wait.
Day or like
Chinese. Which Kevin Chang?
Kevin Chang. He like dated Nikki Chow a lot. He was like super 2008.
Okay. Wait. I think I might know them as like. I forgot his
Kevin
name.
Chang and Nikki Chow.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, like I love their like acting duo. And they did like the Love Under the Cannot Be Under of Love or something. Shoot. I don't know the English translation. It's on TVB drama.
You can say in Cantonese.
Okay, that.
唔記得，哇，真係
No, that's the TV show. 唔記得。
唔記得. Yeah, this is your opportunity to practice a little bit.
Yeah, no, don't remember it. The Seventh Day is like by Tutting something.
Mm.
But-
That's cool.
And they're short too. They're only 20 episodes.
Good
I
to
can't
know.
even think of like the other one. The only I think Kanto or HK drama is Zhenqing.
Something.
Zhenqing.
Yeah, Real Love.
I think so. Like the
Yeah,
one that was on
That
for
was
like
so long. That had like 10 seasons plus.
yeah.
Yeah.
People
I
like
usually
grow-
prefer like those gay like dramas.
What's Sayoge? Is that the
Like Journey to
Journey
the West.
to the West. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah.
Monkey
That's
King,
That's
you know,
right.
all those. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Those are usually the types like those drama pieces, like those drama period pieces. Those are the ones that I usually like.
Yeah, that one's a classic.
Yeah.
Cool.
all right.
Do you have anything else?
Nothing on my side. Is there any questions that we didn't ask that you want to answer?
I feel like there's a lot of questions, but
Right.
we touched on a good basis.
Mm.
I don't know. Stay tuned for second one.
Right.
We're gonna have a couple more of these.
So how do you guys feel about this whole process of being interviewed?
I don't mind it. I like talking.
Yeah, I feel like it's just talking to a bunch of friends. I'm like an open book. I don't know. You ask me something, I'll answer you.
That's good.
Okay. Well, thank you two for coming. Thanks for Norman for co-hosting. We're gonna be doing a couple more of these in the coming weeks. We're probably gonna have both of you back on. So thanks again, and thanks for everyone that's been watching. See you guys next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Stream.